The struggle has been real. With the mice this year. I basically live in a forest, and honestly, in the past, I never had any kind of issues with mice or squirrels or chipmunks or any other animal eating or destroying my paper mache art, which I normally store down in my basement if it's not here in the studio. But this year was a different story. So the purpose of this video is to just chat through this a little bit. I haven't really found many videos on people talking on this subject. If you make a lot of paper mache art, there's a lot of different things that can affect it. One of the number one things is weather. So a lot of questions that come up, and there's a lot of videos out there on how to waterproof or weatherproof paper mache art. I have a few videos that I have done on that subject as well. Check those out, where I did an experiment with a paper mache jack-o'-lantern that I made, and it held up pretty well. However, with mice, it's been the worst year. I have a cat. The mice have gotten in, not only to my basement where I store my art, but up into my house. And the cat actually killed quite a few of the mice. The mice actually got into my studio, and pretty much, I'm going to show you an example. This is a armature for a zombie head. And just want to point this out. So I didn't have any clay on it. I had just strip mached it. All of these areas where you see raw cardboard, all of this here was chewed on by mice. And this was in my studio right here where I'm filming. So that's just an example of some of the damage that they can do before you even apply any clay. This guy right here, my gargoyle, and this was the last set of tutorials that I did, is how to make paper mache gargoyle. If you're interested in that, check out that tutorial. Now I put this guy, after Halloween was over, I put him down in the basement just like I normally would, but I was lazy and I did not put this in a crate or cover him in any kind of way. He was actually just sitting on top of a crate filled with other Halloween art that I've made. The mice, I'm going to turn this around so you can see it. The mice basically ate away on all of the paper mache. It's really kind of funny when you think about it, when you look at it, it's weird. They didn't touch the clay, so this is all clay. Everything that you see that the mice did not touch or try to eat is my standard paper mache clay. And again, how to make that and what I use is on my channel as well, so if you're interested in that, check that out. But going back to this. So in these areas here, I didn't use the clay for this. This is like the bony structure. I wanted to put in some more details here. So I used toilet paper, dipped in paste, and I applied it over the dry clay. So they didn't go for the clay, they went for the toilet paper. And they didn't care that there was paint on it. They didn't care that there was a weatherproof sealant, polyurethane spray that I sprayed on it to seal it from some weather. They didn't care about that. They chewed right through that. They chewed, as you can see, the damage, all of this. And had I not gone down there and discovered this sooner, they probably would have, I mean, there's areas that they didn't get to, but they would have gotten to all of it. So really interesting. Didn't touch any of the actual clay that I use, but the toilet paper that I used for that particular element of design, they were just going at it. What can you do to protect your paper mache art from rodents? Number one, I would say you need to put them in some really good sealed crates. Invest in some good crates, and on top of that, I would say with the lids, if they're not locking lids, and even if they are locking lids, get some bungee cords to make sure that they're on there very securely. And before you even put them inside a crate, I would say wrap them in some plastic or something to protect them and put them in the crate. And that's what I'm going to do from this point further. Like I said, up until this year, never had an issue with rodents. In my basement, in my studio, nowhere. But it was just a really, really bad year for mice in particular. I did find where they were coming in through the studio. They were actually coming in from the basement up through my furnace vent that actually vents through the closet of my studio. And there were some gaps and some holes in there, so we sealed those off. We put some repellent down in the basement as well. And since then, we haven't had any further activity. Or I should say, we no longer, after I sealed up those areas, we no longer had any mice activity inside our actual house. We did still have mice activity down in the basement. I am very much a live and let live type of a person. I don't like to kill things. I don't want to kill animals. But you try different things. One of the things that I did try, and this is not a sponsored video by this product or this company. This is just what I used and had some success with. This is mouse repellent pouches. They're filled with all kinds of natural things that have scents that mice do not like. They don't like the smell of it, and it repels them. It doesn't kill them. If they eat it, they won't eat it because they don't like the smell of it. This brand is Grandpa Gus. There are many different brands out there. And basically what you do, and a lot of people, you just put them in areas, spread them around in your basement where you've seen like mice droppings or whatever, and hope that it's going to work. And it did work for a little bit, but the smell does dissipate. It does go away. So you down there, I had to put down some bait, that does kill the mice. That's unfortunate. So if you have an aversion of killing animals, even if they are rodents, try that. There are other little sonic plug-in things that send out noises, but if you have an infestation, you're probably going to need to get an exterminator in there. You're probably going to need to use some kind of bait that will kill off the mice. Anyway, that's my thought on rodents versus paper mache. Protect them. Don't leave them out like I did with my gargoyle. It's really frustrating when you go to unpack your art to set it up for your Halloween display or for your Halloween party, and you find that it's been eaten away by rodents. So first rule of thumb is to make sure that they are protected, put in crates, bungee cords, and if you have an area where you don't have any mice activity or anything like that, store them in that area too. But I don't have a lot of space here. I don't have a garage. I have a basement. And I have an attic, which is filled with Christmas decorations. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough about that. I hope that you find that information at least a little bit helpful. Anyway, coming up next set of tutorials is zombie heads, severed zombie heads. And here are two finished zombie heads right here before you. These were created so that you could stick them on like a spike or a stake, or you can just use this head and attach it to a body that you have fabricated, and make a full, life-size zombie with this, using this zombie head and then creating your own body to attach this to. Many different ways that you can use these things. I think they're pretty cool. And I've had a lot of you that have asked me to make a tutorial on how to create these. So that's going to be coming up next as soon as I can get to it. It may not be until, I don't know, another week or so, but I'm going to get to it as soon as possible. Probably use this guy as an example after I go back and, of course, re-strip mache the areas where the mice got to it. Anyway. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for zombie heads. Protect your art. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I've got a ton more on the channel that you should check out. How to make jack-o'-lanterns, how to make a skull and books, a decorative piece of art for Halloween, gargoyles, bats, many different things on there. Check it out. Until then, get in the Halloween spirit. Summer's winding down. That means Halloween. That means Halloween art. And I'll catch you in the next one.